This is the GPAA farm claim. This is where we come to test out equipment and ideas. That's about all we do with it. Campsite. This is the road out here. Entrance that we come in is actually right in here, cuts across. And the property lines at either extreme, of course, are rarely touched, especially this area in between. Now this property line here is a little off, I do believe, on the schematic, because you can see this bridge right here from the last sign. So I think this actual pin should be over in here. Okay, our plan had been to dredge in this area, but they've got some construction going on in here, so our original plan was blown, and we're just thinking on the fly. We went from originally we were going to dredge up in here to simply catching fine gold and doing the best we could with what we had. This is the camping area. And as far as camping goes, it's good camping. That's one of the reasons we like to test here. There's the campground way down there. And it can flood these farm buildings way up here by the road. So when you're pushing that much water, you can clearly understand how gold can be redeposited. All right, we're at the corner of the campground, and this tree had fallen. And while we were here, we took out all this material and tested it. And oddly enough, our biggest piece of gold came from here. Now really, there shouldn't be a big piece of gold in this, and it probably came because for almost 20 years now, people have been throwing their concentrates on the tree after they checked it. That's about the only reason I can figure out a big piece of gold would be here. It should be loaded with fine gold, which it was, but not with big pieces. All right, now you're just walking down from the tree to the stream. Okay, and you're coming down the bar where we set up our equipment right there. And if you want to dredge here, you can see that many other people had the same idea because it's easy to get into. The second place that we tested, and we're just testing, was behind the grass, and a lot of fine gold in that. Actually, there's a lot of fine gold everywhere. I'll get into that in a minute. Now, our most normal gold came from wading on upstream to where we were very close to the bridge, to the last bar on the property. The tail end of that, if you watched our movies, you already understand how a bar works. So the tail end is gold that we can get to with handheld equipment. The front end is the area we dredge. Perhaps the most surprising thing to me was downstream on the piece of bedrock that goes across the stream. Virtually very, very little of anything, if anything, came out of that. Somebody had just dredged that, and whoever did it was very, very thorough. They used their water pick, as I'm showing in the very first gold movie, Finding Gold 1, on dredging, and it did a very good job. So whoever did that, man, buddy, you did a great job, and I hope you scored big. You see that X in the sluice box? That's what you want to see when your sluice box is set up to run perfectly. You want to see that X in the water, and then you have the water flow to work that sluice. And you might think I did this, and you would be wrong. That would be Mrs. Mattson, who dammed up this old stream and got that sluice box running just right. An excellent prospector in her own right. Now we've got our friends here, Harry and Susan, and it's kind of a good thing it turned out this way, because we're thinking on our feet and doing things that we can. They get to see this and how we're going to change a trip and change our strategy on the fly. Now Harry's putting it through the sluice, and I should watch the action of the screen. And these are all the black sands from those tree roots, which is way up on dry land. So our next filter is on the inside bend. Grass is an excellent filter of fine gold as well. So we're going to dig out on the back side here and see how much gold we get there. And we run the same amount of material that we did from the tree, and we've got a lot more black sand. More black sand usually equals more gold. Our first sluice is just what you saw earlier. It's got the screen in it. That'll catch the fine gold. Now for flour gold and really light gold, even a screen will throw things up in the water flow. So we've got a slick plate here with a second sluice. And I've got the screen out of it to get it to the spaghetti mat. And the water is just filtering out toward the bottom of the water flow. And when you get to the spaghetti, it drops through that, catches on it, and drops into the mat below. And that's the idea of catching fine gold with a sluice. Now ideally we'd have a bunch of these together, but for this trip this is all we have. Your pointer there by that gold, so they have an idea where your finger is even better. Now obviously this is the result of a busted trip. We didn't get to really do what we wanted to do, but test equipment. And this little small pieces here is what you can get out with that sluice box.